Hi gang, how you doing? I'm back. It's Friday and we're going to try and pump out as many videos for you on Friday as we can. We have a whole big list of basic techniques that we want to share with you, and some of them will be really good for those of you who are beginners, and some might be interesting to those of you who are more advanced because maybe you just didn't think of it that way. Or another thing I like to do in my videos that you probably notice is I like to cost things out and talk to you about what's practical, especially if you sell your work, and a lot of you do or aspire to. And I think that's what makes our videos a little bit different, because I share that with you, having been a designer for many years. So anyway, this week what we're going to talk about is a very simple thing to make, which is a memory wire bracelet. Maybe you've never done that. Maybe you've wanted to do it for a long time. But if you come on over here, I'll show you how I do it, and then you'll let your imagination do the rest, because it's super, super easy. So get on over here. Hi guys, so I'm going to talk to you today about a few basics about making a memory wire bracelet. It's so easy. There's not really much to it. This is a memory wire bracelet. Let me take it off. You might have seen it jingling around on my wrist. You can see it goes on spiral wrap. Some people call them spiral wrap. It goes on the memory wire or spiral wrap wire. Okay, and this is the one I've done in colors of my Luna line. But today I'm going to use the gold memory wire, gold plated, I should say, gold finished memory wire that I have on my website. I have copper color, silver color or silver tone, shiny silver, and gold color. And they're all basically stainless steel underneath, and they tend to remember, you know, how to go back, so long as you don't load them up with too many heavy beads. Now I understand there is a different kind that you can get where you can put more heavy beads on, but for now I have the ones that maybe you should stick with beads that are no bigger than 10 millimeter, and better if you do like 4 to 8 millimeter on them. But anyway, we have this at this site. Just go to the wire section. You'll find it's very, very inexpensive as well. But this is what they look like when they're finished. And basically all it is you select the beads. You choose the beads out of your stash that you want to use. For this one, what do I have on it? Well, I have a lot of rhinestone rondelles and rhinestone beads, the little beadelle type beads. And that adds a lot of cost to a piece. So if you're going to do a piece and use them for a little bit of sparkle, I can't encourage you enough to do it. However you're going to sell it, the piece is going to end up being a more expensive piece because you're going to have more money into it. For example, these little beads at our website, these little round ones, I don't know if you can see it, this little tiny beadelle bead, it's like $1 a piece at our website, this little one bead. And for this type of bead, that is dirt cheap. Believe it or not. The Swarovski ones, this is a Czech one, but the Swarovski ones can cost $5 a piece, so you know you can get money into it. So where you could make out is using the Czech Preciosa pearls. Maybe you have some. These are Czech Preciosa pearls. They're as good as the Swarovskis any day, and they're very inexpensive, and we have them in all kinds of colors at bcboutiques.com. Another thing are the cat eye beads. They're not expensive either, and we have them in the faceted style. I prefer the faceted style. We carry a lot of beads these days, but I look for unusual things. I tend to not do a lot with usual normal stuff you see everywhere. So these are the faceted ones, and you just got a lot more going on. So we've got those. We have little rhinestone rondelles. We have these, and they're in a mix called apparition, these white caps. We have them in other colors too, little tulip caps, bead caps. So this bracelet, there's some money into this bracelet. I won't kid you, but I made it for myself. So you know, when you do that, you don't care so much. But when you're going to make one, you know, to sell it possibly, then you're probably going to want to use some repurposed beads, maybe some stray beads from a project, or maybe some Czech fire polish that you have that coordinates with different colors. It's not expensive, maybe some inexpensive semi-precious beads, and maybe just a few little rondelles for flash. But there are many ways to make them. You can make them expensive, or you can make them inexpensive.
Could you put cat beads in there?
Yes, and that's what will actually help you save money a little bit. If you find some inexpensive bead caps that you like and put them in between, it adds a lot of vibe, gives the piece a lot of soul, and it can make up for other things. I put a lot of flash in this to make up for the fact that it didn't have the right bead caps for it. But if you can find the right bead caps, and you can use ones, you know, inexpensive ones, and it'll make a big difference. I made one for my Carnevale line, and it sold right away. It had a lot of those bead caps in it, and it just really looked cool. So that's another thing, yeah. I like to encourage you when you bead like this, and you'll see when I do this, to really give it some texture. So that's what I did with this one, but I used the flash, and of course the blingy dingy is a little bit more expensive. So you want to keep that in mind. But let's go on. There's some other little things about this bracelet that I'm going to tell you, but you're going to need to come back on Sunday to the live session, which we have every single Sunday. And we do it at 4:30 p.m. EST. So there will be one this Sunday, which is April 14th, 2019. But you can pretty much come any Sunday you want. We'll be there on my YouTube channel at 4:30. And I'll tell you more about this one then, because there's a few little tricks with this one I like to share with you on Sunday. But for today, what I want to talk to you about is selecting your colors. And because I'm fortunate enough to have bead hanks, and maybe some of you do too, and that's great. I can kind of show you what I've come up with a few of the newer beads that have come in. I have these wonderful Saturn. No, these are the turban beads, yeah. And they're the Picassos, and they're funked up. I don't know if that's the best word, but they're just really funky and cool, and they're uneven, and they're shabby looking, and they're just amazing. They look kind of ancient. And
I think the end of the bead looks like a bead cap.
And yes, it does. So, you know, maybe you won't need so much of a bead cap. Although I think a little tiny one on there would look really good. These are good in earrings too. So I've got these. And then I have these. If you want to talk about funky beads, these are truly funky. These are cathedral beads, and they are so shabby. On purpose, there's not a defect here. The paint on the ends, or whatever they've used in the glass, some kind of, I think it is an enamel paint, it's flaked off, and it's supposed to be that way. It's an extension of a Picasso style, and it just looks so ancient and cool, and we have lots of them at the site if you want to try them out, and they're not expensive, so you will enjoy them. And then here's its sister, which is basically the same bead shape, with the turquoise middle and the gold end, and it's not shabby type. But this, look at how good these look together. Fantastic. And then if you want to make another color, usually 3 could be enough, but in this case I'd like to add a little bit of this, which is this Czech Preciosa fire polish. I think they're 8mm.
Yeah, it looks like an 8.
And then, just for a little bit more texture, mixed impression jasper could be so cool. And so we'll get that right up next to it so you can see. This is a really great combination. So basically what it gives you the look of those stacked bracelets that people wear, the little skinny bracelets, and they have them in all different colors and stuff. Well, it's basically what you're going to do, but on one coil of wire. It doesn't take as long to make. It's just a lot going on for that style, so do it that way. Now I had pulled these out of my stash too, because I thought they're too blue of a turquoise, so I don't really like the look of that for this. Although, just saying, what if? Could I put the? I guess you could, but I don't know if I'm crazy about it. You know, it's funny, sometimes you can take colors that just aren't really the best or not so cool on their own, and when you mix them up and you put the right bead cap with it or rondelle or whatever, all of a sudden it starts talking to you. And that's what this is about. When I do the stacked boho beading, I'm looking for stuff that maybe you didn't think to put together before. And when you do, it's like, oh wow, look at the texture on that. How unusual is that? It's not just your typical 3 beads on a head pin anymore, although the technique is the same. But it's how you put it together that makes it talk. All right, so moving on now, here's another color family I like. Well, there's actually 2 ways to go with this. This is a whole bunch of... these are some of the beads from my Carnevale line. And as you can see, I really like Czech Preciosa. So a lot of the beads that I carry are Czech Preciosa. So as far as fire polish is concerned, this is probably as good as it gets. And so they may cost a tad bit more, but really they're quite economical to use. But I don't generally tend to carry common, ordinary Preciosas or fire polish. I usually want something that's talking a little bit, like I say. Like to me, this color is harder to find, so I look for a harder to find color that's got something going on with it. These are the cat's eye beads. They're not Czech Preciosa, but they've got something going on for them. These are actually Chinese, but they're fine. In the Chinese celestial type crystal, or the machine cut crystal from China, it's a little more brittle, so you have to be careful, but it's very, very shiny, and once you get it on your project, it'll hold up just fine. So sometimes it's good to go with something like that. Now, when I'm talking about a common type of fire polish, I would call this. This is your typical, I think, a smoked topaz. This is Preciosa too. And it's beautiful. I mean, I love this color. This is one of my favorite colors. And you know, just to step backward a little bit, this shabby one has smoked topaz in the middle too. So look at that. Hey now. Hey now, how about that? So I mean, just so many ways you could go with it, you know. And then I don't know if this would look right. No. See, this is just too blingy dingy for this. This is a more organic look to me. So there's a way you could go. But this is what I'd call more common, so we don't tend to have common colors. Well, I don't know, maybe we should. I just kind of figure out you can get them anywhere. I want stuff that you can't get anywhere. Or maybe it's harder to find. Now I like to have the unusual stuff. And this is a little bit more unusual, although it's still your typical Czech Preciosa, but it's like a champagne coral with AB on the top. So it's really beautiful. So I like that too. And then we get into the Picasso types, like you have here. And really with the Picasso, I mean, I'd have to look up an exact explanation, but just from handling them, they seem to have an enamel paint of some kind that goes on them. This is not in the glass, it's applied somehow. I'll have to find out more, but they're just, I just love the look of them. They're just amazing and cool. So we have a lot of these at the site now too, and we're getting more all the time. But look at, if you put this with it, and if you put, I don't know if this would go. Yeah, you could do that. Now for a pop, what about that? No, I'm not liking it. Do you like that, hubby? I think it's a little too bright.
You think so?
I don't know, you like it?
Yeah.
What do you guys like? Put it in the comments. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you think. These are all the cat's eye. And I have them in several sizes. I think this is actually a 10 millimeter bead. And this is a 6. We have these on the site. And then I have these coral colored ones. These are actually 2 different colors, but I don't know. Maybe what would look with this lighter one? No, I think the more vibrant one would be better. But here's another idea. What if you put, you know, I did show you this, you put that in there for a spacer, but then maybe you would remove this. Put in. I don't know, that makes it look a little dull. What do you guys think? Another thing to break it up, I just like this stuff because it's just so happy and vibrant, this red. I love red. Where are those mixed impression beads? I just had them on my finger, didn't I? Oh, well, they skipped town. That happens with me. Anyway, those mixed impression... Here they are, stuck in this other pile. These would be nice in between, too. And then maybe you wouldn't use quite so many of the Picassos, which would save you a little money because Picasso beads are a little more expensive. You only get like 15 or 20 on a thing, except for these ones. I think you get 25, and they're really well priced. I got a good deal on them. When I get a good deal, you get one. So, I don't know, maybe like this together. I don't know. We'll have to try it. You want to make one with me? Let's try and make one real quick here, because I don't want to take all day and all night. Alrighty, so I've got my memory wire cut. And you can just use your regular flush cutters to do that. These are the ones I always use. These are on ones that I have on the site. And then, of course, I have my Wolfies, my flat nose, and my round nose, or chain nose. And I do have more of these coming in real soon. They just flew out of here. I bought, I don't know, like 25 pair, and they just flew out of here. So, anyway, so I gotta get some more. But anyway, that's what I'm going to use. This is all you will use, is the round nose and the flat nose and your cutters. And then I've got my jumpy tool on. Okay. And then you need some memory wire, and then you probably need some, I have ball end head pins here, but you can use any head pin, or you can make your own head pin with a little coil thingy dingy on the end, however you want to do it. All right, let's see how we can do this, how quickly I can do this. I'll have to cut my beads apart too. So I cut this so that I would have, I think it was 5. 1, 2, 3, come on, 4, 5, yeah, coils. And they will come out the way I've cut them. I've tried to cut them in the same place. Sometimes they want to roll over on each other. We'll figure that out later. But I like to try and cut them to end in the same place on the coil, because then when you put it on your wrist and it pulls apart, it kind of staggers it and it looks good. So that's what I like. Okay, but what you have to do, of course, you can see you don't have a stopper on here. Now you can buy bead stoppers for these and apply them with glue. I don't do that, and we don't have any at our place, but some people do like them. But here's what I like to do, and this is what's typical. Okay, now let's see if I can do that, because this wire is hard. I'm not going to kid you, it's hard. But I like to catch hold of it here, almost toward the end, and pull it in toward myself. And again, this is why I like my Wolfies. But if you have looping pliers of another kind that have these little grooves in it, it could help you out too, if you can't get Wolfies or don't have any. So you can see I made a little loop there, okay? It's kind of sticking over a little bit, so I'm going to pull it over a little. Now, you could just leave it like that, but I don't like to, because it just could fall. It could just pull apart too easy for me. So I like to take my flat nose and just kind of start turning it over my typical thing I always do with wire. Start coiling it. Whoops, no harm done. Start coiling it and pull it around one time. So I got to go a little bit further. I put hand cream on right before the video, so my hands won't look so bad. And it's making my hands a little slippy. And you do have to go slower with this because it's tough. It's not your typical, copper-based wire that we usually work with. Okay, so I'm going to probably stop here. Okay, so I've got that going on, and I'm going to go just ahead and leave that hang down, because I always hang beads at the ends, always. So that's good. That works good for me. So now what I have to do when I want to start, I have to figure out which beads I'm going to use, and I have to get to the end of this. So let's talk about that for a minute. I think I'm going to go with this. I have to cut this apart. So I will do that here. And let's see if I can get, I'm going to get a bunch of them off of here. I won't use that many, but I can take them upstairs. All right, the reason I cut it at the very end is because I would have, after I take those off there, if these are already temp strung like these are, I'll have a long piece of tail there that I can go and I can tie them back together. So that's a little trick for you. Instead of like cutting them in the middle and them roll all over the place, cut them at the end toward the knot, and then let them fall off, and then you'll have a good bit of string so that you can keep them all together and keep them still strung. So I'm going to go with this, and I'm going to go with some of these. Now this is that fishing cord line they come on, so there won't be any tying that back together. So I just have to keep these. And these are actually jasper, so they're semi-precious stones. So, you know, a lot of times, I don't know if I'm sure I talked to you about it before. When you use semi-precious in a design, it adds to the value of it. Now these I'm going to go ahead and cut up here, which is against, nah, you know what, I'm not. I got an idea. I'm going to cut down here toward the crimp where it's put up. I might be able to tie this. I don't want to use them all. So I'll put this aside and tie it later. Okay, so I want to use these, and I want to use some of these. So let me go up toward the end. This is again put on fishing line, so I don't know how successful I'm going to be, but tying it back together, but I might be able to. So I might be able to, oops, one more. I might be able to pull it up like this, yeah. So I do pull it up and then tie them back together. Although it's a little harder to tie this stuff, okay? Alrighty, so we've got that. And then to go with this, I want these. So let's get up toward the end. Oops, no I didn't. I thought I cut through the whole thing. Alright, so I'm going to take about 2/3 of them. Alright, I'm going to go from here, and we're going to see how far I get without having to cut another one apart, because these are going to be my primary colors, and I don't think it's going to be enough.
No.
So, but that's enough for now. I don't know.
Are you going to put another pop of color instead of red?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's kind of organic like this. I could put these. That's, I don't know. I'm not liking that. It's not talking to me so much. I could put the orange.
Yeah, you could always do that.
Makes it look juicy. Or I could do the yellow. I'm kind of liking the yellow, actually, because that'll really brighten it up. And these aren't so expensive either. So, okay, let me go up here and cut them. Whoops, I lost one. I'll find him later. I might use quite a few of those, actually. And then over here, I have a lot of rhinestone rondelles that I stick in there. So anyway, I'm going to start. Now, normally at the ends, what I want to happen, I want it, you know, when you put this on, it's going to roll down to the very end. It's going to roll down to here. This is your end. So you start from this end that's cut and not looped yet. So you've got one that you've coiled and one that you haven't. And I usually start with a smaller bead at the end, because when I come back to do that, it'll just be easier to deal with. So I've got that. Now, here's the thing about putting this on. You can make yourself a pattern and just repeat it, and that's great. That's probably the way most people would do it, but not me, of course. I kind of go random. I'm more for, let's get it in the same color family and go for the same texture and go for it. So I might go for a little while and it's all repeated, and then I might start something else entirely. But so long as it stays around the same size, you know, then it works for me. So you can choose. But let's see what happens here. I'm going to put a red one, and then I'm going to put let's do a mixed impression. I did cut some off in here. Yeah, here we go. So we're getting, it got looped on there. Okay, that's annoying. Till you get this build up a little bit, you're going to have that. I'll put another one of these. And another one of these. See what's going on. Maybe I'll put another one of these. So I'm not really doing a pattern so much as I'm just kind of looking to see how it looks. No, I just did two of them. I don't think I want to put two together unless I split it up. So I'm going to put, here's a good place for rhinestone rondelle. I'm going to put one of those there. And then maybe I'll put one of my turban beads. I haven't tried one of these. Yeah, it works good. Oh, that's cool. And then I'm going to put one of the, I'm going to put another rhinestone bead. But I'm going to have to watch how many I use, because it'll, you know, drive the cost of it up. So now I put another ribbon. So here I have a pattern going. See, there's a pattern. So if I wanted to follow this pattern, then the next one would be a yellow one. And then an impression jasper. And a red. And another yellow. And then maybe another impression jasper. And then I might do something a little different. Maybe I'll put this bead, Picasso bead, in there. Okay. And maybe, oh, I don't know. See, that's kind of similar. So maybe I'll break that up by putting another yellow one in there. So if you put two together that have too much of the same texture and color, it kind of, I don't know, you lose the effect. I think I'm going to put one of these deals in there again. You know, it gets too mottled. Unless you're going to stay with all that look, and then in that case, then it might be what you want to do. But I don't think in this one. So now I'm going to do a yellow one. Another yellow mirror. Alrighty. So now I'm going to start pulling it up. See how I'm pulling it up? So it goes to the end. Now we can get a real sense for how it's going to come out. Okay. So it's going to come out, you know, looking kind of like this. Basically. So I'll tell you what, in interest of time, I think you get the point now how this goes. You're just going to keep going all the way out. And now another thing too, be careful when you're working with this. You know, you put your fingers through and stretch it on enough so you can work on it. But don't get over ambitious doing that, because you could pull your wire out of sync and it'll get all stretched out and bad. Now this is a beadsmith wire that I carry, and it doesn't tend to do that so much, but just still, you know, be careful with it. And then what will happen at the end, you'll just coil this around too. So you're going to probably want to stop beading about here. And then you'll put your little bead drop ends on. And to show you how that goes, I'm going to go ahead and do that on this end. Come on, guys. Get over here. Come on. I feel almost like it's a abacus type thing. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put some on so you can just see how this one looks. Now, you know, if you do this first, I'm just doing this for teaching purposes. I don't think you want to do this first, because if you do, it will make it a little bit unwieldy as you're working on it. So I'm not going to admonish you to do that. I mean, you can do anything you want. It's your project, but I would wait until the end to do this. So I've got 3 beads on a head pin. You know how this goes. I'm going to bend it over as far as I can. And be careful too, because that's glass, so you don't want to chip it. I'm getting off camera. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so used to working solo. Okay. So I have it here. You can see it's looped. Now take this and just turn it around. I'm just going to put one on. You'll get the point. Alrighty. And then of course I don't want to hurt Javi, so I'm gonna take it off camera over here so I can clip it. Alrighty. This one's going to need to be trimmed a little bit. I have another nippers that's better for tight places. It's another Xuron brand one. And I should have brought that down. But anyway, all I'm going to need now, and I see I didn't bring any jump rings with me that are gold. Let me see what's in this little jar. Maybe I can put it on, you know, for temporary, and you can see how it's. I can't believe I forgot to bring them. Yes, I can. Sometimes I'm just a doughhead. No, those are not yet over there. Is there any in that little crystal thing? I'm sorry, guys. You know what? I think I have one on here. Nope.
A couple of like.
Yeah, I don't care what color it is. We're just going to put it on just for the hay of it. Just for the hay of it. I'm going to remove it anyway, so because I won't want to keep working on it with the sun, but I just want you to see how to do it. So I'm just going to go in here, take my jump, attach it like any other attachment. Try not to shake my hand too much. Get it in there and get it turned. Okay, that's not the best turn, so. Anyway, so you can see how it goes. It's real basic. Cut yourself about 5 loops. Because remember, when you put it on your wrist, it's going to stretch out. Okay? About 5 loops. So that you'll have one about this wide. Now, if you prefer to have one narrower, then don't cut as many. Cut maybe 3. Okay? But I like something with a little substance. So, and you can see, I put that on like a bangle bracelet. I'm going to show you again. I didn't take this and wrap it around. I could have, but I don't have it made that way. And that's why you need to come Sunday, because on Sunday I'm going to show you why. Okay, but for today, I showed you how to put it on the wire, how to cut it, how to loop the end, and then you're going to put like little pieces. I usually do like 3 on the ends, maybe 2 like this, and 1 in the middle that's a little bit bigger. And I do it on both ends. And I'll show you on this one how it goes. This one has got 3, see? 1, 2, 3. These are the same, and this is different. And I've got the same thing over here going on, except the way it's kind of moving around. I've got 2 the same, 1 different. So there's 3 on each end. And that just gives it a lovely finish, a very nice designer look finish. So anyway, that's how it goes. So I'm going to have fun. I'm going to take this upstairs and I'm going to finish this project. And then if you'll please join me on Sunday, I will show you the rest of the little tips and tricks about how to make a memory wire bracelet. I'll have this one done. I'll show you what I did to this one. And maybe I'll even have a few more made. So you come on over and see me then. And if you can't come at 4:30 on Sunday, it's archived. So you'll miss a live broadcast where you can ask questions, but I'll still be there. You can still come back in. You can still see the broadcast. You won't miss anything. Okay, guys, so that's what I have to tell you about memory wire bracelets today. Can't encourage you enough to get some memory wire and try it. And as I mentioned, we do have some at braceletboutiques.com. If you need some, come and get it. We have the good stuff there. You know, I don't sell you the really cheap stuff. I give you good stuff there, but it's not expensive. Cheap is one thing, inexpensive is another. So, okay, that's all I have to say for today. Do you have anything to say, Javi?
No.
Have you made one of these before? Yeah. What color did you use? Purple.
I don't remember.
Blue. And how many loops did you make on yours?
I don't remember. We did it as a video.
You did?
We did it as a video in the workshop. No,
Oh.
the shop.
At the shop.
Yeah, the shop.
I thought we had never done a
Yeah.
memory wire one before.
Yeah, we have.
Okay. Well, it's been a long time, so now it's time for another one, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, time for another one. Better beads now, too. We got better
That's true.
beads. Okay, guys, I'll see you on Sunday if you can make it, and we'll be back with another regular video probably next Friday. All right? So have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. In the meantime, come see us at braceletsboutiques.com, where we have the good stuff. Bye now.